Hello, my name is Richard Stergulz. We would like to invite you on a journey through the United States filled with creativity, learning, and adventure through the series Color in Your Life. There is an artist in every family throughout the world. All of us are artists deep down inside. So grab your kids, brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, moms and dads. Come see how the best artists in the world do what they do. Hello viewers, this is Rich Stergulz from Put Some Color in Your Life, and today we are with a legendary artist, Randy Morgan. Randy, thank you so much for having us here today.
Thank you, Richard. You're too kind, and I'm very honored to be here.
Well, thank you once again. And folks, you are going to see some amazing bas-relief sculpting. This man is incredible. He has, I don't know how many sculptures in the Laguna area here in California, but everybody knows this man. And if you are a sculpting student, you probably know this man. So it's a really great honor to have him here on the show. So
thank you, Rich.
Before we get started with anything else, I just wanted to say, everybody's excited about hearing more about you. So let's talk about the San Juan
Historical?
Yeah.
K1?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's go. Let's go back.
Okay.
How did you get started?
Well, there was a woman involved, truthfully. I was in kindergarten. I had a young, fresh out of college kindergarten teacher who I was madly in love with. My first experience with Olivet kindergarten. And she was an artist as well. And so she was teaching us all how to paint and draw. And she encouraged me to do a drawing of a horse that I made and do another one to be entered in the LA County Fair. So turns out she entered it and I won the blue ribbon at 5 years old. And I
professional artist at 5 already.
5. So I guess I got the blue ribbon, and I think I got a dinner at Sizzler or something that went along with it.
Well, that's awesome.
That was good.
So the San Juan one is absolutely stunning. I got to see this one in person, and I got to tell you, I was blown away. And I'm not speechless that often, but that sculpture was amazing. Tell us the history and how that all began.
I get these jobs by researching what projects are going on, what hotels are being built. And I've cut my teeth on developing relationships. Like I did the Esperanza Hotel in Cabo San Lucas with Marriott and their #1 architect, Arthur Valdez, and Bob Marriott. And I did the owner's villa there at the Esperanza, the Palmilla. I did the Hotel Laguna recently. I did the new hotel in San Juan, which is an autograph Marriott. And then I did the autograph Marriott, and I got contacted by a guy I'd been talking to for a couple of years, sending out flyers to him digitally. And finally his project came to fruition, and he gave me the site of the building and a budget to get it done with. So he contacted me and wanted me to do a story of old San Juan, or something historical in the downtown area of San Juan Capistrano, which has gone off much like Temecula did, much like La Quinta did, and it's going off right now. And it's across this, but it's a great spot. And it's across the street from the Mission San Juan, and they have a great history. So after researching it, as you well know, Richard, a mural or a painting and being a muralist, I spent a lot of time studying Diego Rivera, Jorge Orozco as a kid. I went to school at San Miguel de Allende, an hour north of Mexico City. And so these murals usually are viewed as a picture from left to right. But San Juan Capistrano is a very interesting place. They have 7 different stories. There's the Portola Expedition, which was the Portola Expedition. Father Serra, Father Crespi, and 100 men 300 years ago disembarked from San Diego and opened the first 7 missions on the California coast. So they conscripted basically the Native American people who were on the land to begin with, and they tried to bring Christianity to the Native Americans, and as well as build each mission. And in each mission was the farm, hides that they got from the cattle, whatever minerals were in the area. And then they had the galleons come from Spain once a year to pick up the loot. So there's the Portola Expedition. Then there were the Indians living in paradise. So that's one of the murals. The other mural is Father Gomez with the Native American Indians 300 years ago at the first baptism. Then I got the Native American craftsman is another mission, building the mission. So that's a mural. I have the old Forester Ranch, which was the rancho. And back in those days, there was the first ranch, there was a ranch, you know.
Yeah.
There wasn't like it is now 50,000 ranches in Orange County, you know, it was the ranch. So that's another mission. And then it's the vaqueros, which are the Californios. And then these badass cowboys came along 150 or 200 years ago. And they were the cowboys for the ranch and the mission and everything. So I have two pieces at the top of the mural. It's a 14 by 18 foot mural. Because when you do these history walls, you have to investigate to go to do the big mural. It sounds great, cowboys and Indians, great subject, but you have to research what kind of clothing they wore, what kind of buttons they wore, what kind of jewelry that they're making when you're showing the jewelry, what kind of birds are flying in the sky, what kind of fish it is that they fished, you know, because if you don't get all the bells and whistles right, a quote, expert comes along as soon as you're done and makes a fool out of you. So I got the Native American Indian chief, the current chief, to work with me on the Native American part. I got the guys from the church to work with me on the church and finding the historical images. There were no photographs 300 years ago, so I basically had to use paintings and
Any knowledge anybody had.
any knowledge anybody had and any stories and put it together that way. So it consumed me for a whole year. So just be careful what you wish for. I mean, I chased this guy for 5 years. Finally, when he was ready, I was done with the hotel and I got my chance. And then the budget wasn't a lot of money. And then I decided there's no way that I can tell this story unless I, you know, tell the story in a magnificent way because it was such a great story. But it isn't just a story. It's 7 stories. Yeah. So it turned into a monster. My wife, we had some personal stuff happen. She had to go back to Detroit, Michigan. I went with her and we handled some business we had. And then I came back when I started the project. And so all of the furniture in the living room, by the time she came back, she had to stay there for 2 months. It was a family matter. And when she came back, I had all 7 murals in the living room, all the furniture removed. And, you know, Home Alone, what do we do with our artists? That's what we do.
The whole house becomes a studio.
The whole house was like my studio.
Yeah.
And all the furniture was gone. And she just looked at me like, what have you done? What did you get mixed up in?
Not only do you do that as a community, but you have done several others.
Yeah.
As a whole community.
It took me a year to do the Waterman's Wall, the surfer wall, they call it, downtown Laguna on the Hobie Sports Building. And another thing I'd like to tell you, Rich, is, and you guys out there, show your passion. When people are coming to you for a commission, they already like your artwork, but they want to hear from the artist. And here's what young artists do, and I'll tell you, we all do this. I even still do it. I give it away for pizzas if they like it. I mean, you know, we give it away, we give it away, we give it away. We never charge what it's worth. We're like, I don't know why artists do this. You notice that, right?
It's almost like a swap.
They're almost like sheepish about asking for money.
Yeah.
But truthfully, the clients, the upper end clients that call me, if you give them a good deal, they think there's something wrong with it. They want to brag to their friends and, hey, I hired this guy $100,000 to do this thing in my yard. You know what I mean? I didn't really want it, but my wife wanted it. And a lot of times the wife will want it and the guy won't like it. And then you go 4 years later, you see the guy on Facebook telling people about, I bought that door from famous artist. And, you know, they have to have their...
bragging about it.
Yeah, now he's bragging about it because he's not an art guy. But they have to have their other people tell them that it's good. You know what I mean? So show your passion. That's what you got to do. Show yourself peel that onion back and let them see your passion and your ideas are everything to an artist. It's all about your IP and your intellectual property and your ideas. Everything that comes out of your soul, God put something in you that nobody else has, and you share it. It's there to share. Yeah. So share it. Don't be afraid to share it, and don't be afraid to charge them for it either, because otherwise you're fighting another battle, paying the rent and doing things like that. I mean, you got a day job here. You got to remember it's a day job.
All right. So with all of these travels that you've done, just in Laguna alone, the community itself, what other sculptures can you talk to us about?
Okay. The reason we're talking about Laguna is because that's where I live, and that's where my home studio is, and that's where my home gallery is. I have this project called Skipper that I made a monument to this guy. He's a special needs guy, and he couldn't talk. He couldn't understand language and speak very well. So his father taught him to speak in baseball terms. So if he meets you, like you're from Chicago, he'll call you Ernie Banks. The whole town loves this guy. All the captains of industry in Laguna he worked at the high school passing out the towels in his baseball uniform. To this day, he's an altar boy at the Catholic Church with his baseball uniform on every morning. He wears a baseball uniform everywhere he goes, and he's just the greatest guy in the world. And so I made a monument to him in downtown across from the library.
That's
so
awesome.
I shot some pictures of it today, folks.
That's awesome. So let's go back to the Waterman's Wall.
Okay.
Tell us the history of that one.
So it's a wonderful wall, 40-foot wall today. We got it done. We raised the money. We had a big giant party. We blocked off the street with the local motorcycle cops and had a raging party. Mozambique, the restaurant Mozambique, gave us free food all night long, and the guy from the Cliff, the restaurant The Cliff, gave me a suite to stay in and to shoot in on the grounds of the hotel for a year, and it was just a great project. And I like to get the community involved, but you have to get the money, folks. I mean, when you have an idea to do something somewhere, you got to go, where's the money, and why does the guy want to do this?
Especially if a 10-foot by 40-foot mural.
Yeah. Well, somebody's got to pay for it. You got to have paid for it.
Well, speaking of that, I want to ask you first, so that all the viewers know this. What's your supplies? What do you sculpt with? What are you using in some?
I use a 2-part clay that hardens. What happens is it depends on the budget. Working for the studios and working for the theme parks, I always was given a budget, so it starts with the budget. So you have the idea to do the mural. There's 2 ways to do it. You can make it out of plastiline, make a mold for it, resin products, oil products. You can imagine how much the materials are now.
Yeah.
And then those costs are added on top of the artist's cost of making the sculpture. So the right way to do it, and the way to do it, is to make it out of real bronze, making a mold. That's the easiest clay to work the best to get the most detail, I believe, is plastiline and making a cast and pouring a sculpture. However, let's say that would cost $200,000. Let's put a figure out there would be the cost of making it. Then you got to put the artist cost on top of that. So then if the budget's only $100,000, what do? You can't even make the sculpture out of the materials and the process.
Right.
So you got to find another material to make that wall out of. But what I do then is I use a 2-part clay that hardens and a product called Sculpt Nouveau Patinas. Those aren't paints that I use on my murals. When you check them out, they're patinas. So Sculpt Nouveau is a company out of Vista, California, if you're looking for that. And those are the beautiful colors that you like.
Yes.
If you use patinas instead of paint, you're not covering up the detail because it's done with acids. And
well, it looks more weathered and textured. It looks more like an actual weathered sculpture.
Sculpture, yeah. So the turquoise colors that you liked, look like they've been under the sea in the Mediterranean, like a coin you would find for 2,000 years, right? Because you get that buildup of the...
And it's brilliant, too. It's just this beautiful color. And then the rust. The rust color
is unbelievable.
Yeah.
So
So all of these supplies mixed together, and then like you were talking about earlier, you have
Well, in the Waterman's wall, for instance, you got to think in terms of where's it going to be viewed from, where's it going to, what's it going to go on, what's the weight going to be. So sometimes we use those materials rather than the real bronze because of the weight of something.
yes,
You know what I mean?
that would be
So
extremely
it's like
heavy.
10% of the weight this way of a real bronze, and it's like 10% of the cost.
How thick does your sculptures usually come away from the wall?
Well, like the Waterman's wall is right on the sidewalk, so you can't protrude out very far
Right,
because
right,
of insurance. You know, people can walk by and if they get hit by a surfboard,
yeah.
you know, or hit injured, they'll be
So
suing
you
the
had to
guy.
fix that one. You
So-
said.
So usually the city won't allow you to do that if it's right on a sidewalk, but like the one in San Juan, Old San Juan, it's called. That's on a wall, and we built a plan. It has a planter in front of it, with landscaping and the plaques.
So you can't bump into it.
So you can make those figures protrude out.
That's stunning right there. The sun in the morning comes and hits that sculpture, that whole wall. It just lights up. It's just gorgeous. So
Well, it sucked the life out of me for a year.
that's
It was
all right.
a year of my
That's-
life.
It was worth every minute of it.
It was.
Let me tell you.
It really was.
Yeah, and what a
have to share a lot
fantastic
of it.
opening we had that night.
So we always do, just so you know, if you do a project like that and it's a public project, you should have an unveiling and a ceremony with the muckety mucks there and the client. It's really a good thing to get on video. So when you go to do another one, you're showing that video when you're showing the client in your intro packet. So because there's not, like I invite the mayor always because a politician's never met a camera he didn't like, number one. So you enlist all these people by showing them the video, and then they place it. Your brain automatically puts themselves in that position. Well, that's me at the mayor if the state goes, you know.
Yeah.
So you get them behind you.
Oh yeah, I agree with that 100%. You get somebody with credibility to come in and take a look at
Yeah.
your work, like your work, promote your work as
your work.
well. And next thing you know, you're doing all sorts of commissions, and not only for corporate but private, city. Builders, all these builders that you work with as well.
Yeah.
I mean, you are incredibly prolific. You know, I keep looking behind you because I'm wondering where your cape is.
Thank you.
I mean, seriously, dude, you do so much work. It's unbelievable. I'm blown away by how much you do.
And I'll tell you, you guys need to do this too. Here's what I do. I don't look. They ask me. You haven't asked me this yet, but I'm sure you will before we close. What's your favorite piece that you've ever done?
Yeah.
Well, the next one.
The next
one I'm
one.
working on, basically, and the next one. And then so sometimes when you get in those wee dark hours and you're feeling like it's becoming a struggle to make money, be an artist, whatever's going on, you need to go back and open up your portfolio and think about where you were at the start, and then just look at the pictures. And then you go, wow, I've done so much stuff. It's unbelievable.
And you've
When you get
gotten
to be
so much
50,
better.
71 years old. Oh yeah, you learn. You never stop learning.
No.
Never stop learning.
No. All right. Well, let's talk about two more things
Okay.
that are absolutely fantastic,
Besides being on your show,
and besides being on this show. But it's a dream. It's everybody's little dream. Two things. The first one, I want to talk about the moon.
okay. All right.
Yes, the moon, believe it or not. Randy's episode, this episode right here, is going to the moon in a capsule and put on the south pole of the moon in November of 2023. So he is going to be on the moon. His artwork is going to be on the moon. This legend right here.
Who'd have thunk it?
That's right. When you're a kid, you think, hey, I want to be an astronaut. Well, not an astronaut, but his work is on his passion is going to be on the moon. So that's phenomenal. I mean, how excited are you about
Oh, I'm
that?
totally excited. I really appreciate it too.
Of course.
You know, it's amazing. It's going to be an episode of an upcoming TV show as well, which I'm sure we'll get to. But I'm just honored and thrilled to be doing that. I mean, you know, you're dreamers, folks. That thing that God gave you to be an artist, He made you a dreamer. If you can't dream it, you can't do it. If you can't think it up, you're thinking. You get to think up. You get to think up every piece you make and everything you're doing, and that's a wonderful thing, isn't it? You get to pick the style artist you want to be. You get to practice your craft until you're amazing at it, and then you get to pretty much do a lot of commissions for people that are really grateful.
So let's get to the TV show, because this is another incredible, exciting.
I appreciate the moon, and but not only am I going, we're going together to the moon.
Yes, we are.
And
we're both going up.
What I like about the thing. But I had an idea for the TV show of making a TV show around my life and all these crap that I've done and mentoring other artists. And then I met you, and I met all kinds of people along the way. And I had an idea with the producer, and they just loved the idea. And now it's developed into a TV show that's coming out on a major network in the fall. We're just wrapping up the legal stuff right now and getting it done. My good buddy Richard's going to be a big key to being on the show. We're going to put the moon shot in the first season, the first 13 episodes. And it's just it's amazing. Except, I'm a 71-year-old man, and it's a lot of pressure, and it's a lot of work. And now I've got to and like when we shot the sizzle reel in the first episode, I had to get the art done in stages and film, and then wait for it to dry, get it done.
Can you tell the viewers the name of the show, or is that just hush hush
no,
right now?
Tell them. It's called Randyland.
Yeah.
Like the other thing with the land on the end of it, but Randy. So it's Randyland TV.
Yeah, it's going to be an awesome show, and we're going to talk about art. We're going to interview how many artists.
We're going to have artists on the show like you're having them on the show. The show's about artists.
Yeah.
So we pick up the artist wherever he is in his career, and we follow him from there on out till the episodes are over. And he's intertwined in the show. So it's semi-reality, just like you. You say, today we're going to film Randy Morgan. You know what you're going to get. Yeah. It's a reality show, though.
Right.
The interaction, it's not scripted. Right. So they call it an unscripted reality show.
Where can everybody check out your work and commission you?
Okay, you can go to randymorganart.com.
Okay.
And
also they can buy prints from you.
Yeah,
right?
You can buy G Clays, and we got the e-commerce store down right now because we're putting all that stuff in. And you can also go to randymorgan.art, and you'll see, because I made some QR codes and I put them on some of my public art for people that are standing there, so they can just cut out the gallery. They don't have to go to the website. They can buy it right there at the site. So
nice.
So there's two websites, randymorganart.com and randymorgan.art.
Okay. Wonderful. Well, folks, we're going to wrap it up here with the legendary Randy Morgan. So I just wanted to say to you, come out and check out all the other videos that Color in Your Life has. So put some color in your life.com.au. Check us out, and always remember, everybody, put some color in your life.